What is happening, everybody? My name is Beth and welcome back to Everyday is Spooktober. Now, today's review, we are reviewing The Uninvited. I've always seen people react to this film and the cast is like pretty well known as well, and I thought I need to visit this because I've just not seen it. You know, as I've been making videos, I feel like something I do want to do with this channel is sort of review films that I have not seen and have that sort of collection of proof of seeing a film and then reviewing it and talking about, you know, my thought. This is now just starting to become like my personal I guess you could say like checklist of films to watch. There are so many horror films that I have not seen. If it would be possible to watch all of them, who knows? We're gonna give it a go. But yeah, The Uninvited, didn't know what any of it was about, I hadn't really looked at reviews, just didn't generally know much about this film. It was made in 2009 and, you know, for me I thought, okay, so we don't have modern horror, which if you've seen my last video about Psycho and also about the horror genre, you'll know that I'm a bit upset with horror at the moment because it's not bringing me anything new. You know, obviously I'm going to still watch and review films that are coming out the next few months. However, like, you know, in terms of just like reviewing, I want to, like I said, I want to have like a collection on YouTube of just sort of films I haven't seen and my thoughts and opinions of it. The Uninvited, okay, so it was, I don't know, it was giving me very like nostalgic vibes because it was made in 2009 and it was just reminding me of just like life during that time and films during that time. And I mean, it was a while ago, 2009, you know what I mean, like over 10 years ago. It's still a pretty long time, so I kind of liked the vibe, you know, the sort of acting and the outfits and just sort of everything about it just felt quite old school, but not too old school, like where it was set in early 2000s and life was just simple. It just reminded me of that, which I thought was, I really liked it. You know, obviously we have a pretty good cast in this, especially like the three leading females. We have Emily Browning, we have Ariel Cabell, and then we obviously have Elizabeth Banks, who are all really great actors and have gone on to do loads of other stuff. And I think they all did a pretty good job. Obviously, like, I think you take this film with a pinch of salt, as in like it's not like a big Hollywood film, it's not amazing acting, but it was fun. It was a fun film. You know, I think the whole sort of premise of the story is interesting. Don't get me wrong, like I think it had horror aspects, but I think it seriously lacked in the horror department. Like for me, when I finished watching it, I was like, this is like a Nancy Drew mystery film. Like this isn't horror at all. I felt like the horror aspects were really limited and like I didn't quite understand why this was advertised as horror. Like obviously even the front cover looks scary, but it's just not on that level at all, which I was a little bit disappointed about because I was expecting more horror and I was like, I'm ready to get scared, let's do it. Unfortunately it didn't do it. Like I said, it was more mystery, more of a thriller. You know, I think it had some good twists and turns though. I think, you know, I think it was a good thriller film and I definitely would revisit it if I'm honest. The story was definitely something we've seen before. There's someone who's trying to drive their way between like family members so that this sort of villain can kind of get what they want. We've seen that premise. However, I think right at the end we have the big plot twist and it's like Alex is actually dead and Anna's the one, you know, that essentially killed her mother and killed her sister, and also killed Rachel, you know, and she kind of goes back to the mental hospital where she was at the beginning, and that's just essentially where she belongs, which I like that. I think the way it ended was good, although don't get me wrong, I think the story was very cliche. You know, I was still interested throughout. It's just I think the story was a bit cliche. I think the acting, not the acting, but the dialogue was a bit like, I don't know, that could have been better, I think. But I love how like the entire film you're so kind of consumed by the sister relationship between Anna and Alex, and like you think, you know, these girls have such a good bond, and it must be so like it's so nice, and if you have a sister, maybe it's relatable, or you know, you can kind of connect in some way. So I thought that was really like special about it. And then I think right at the end, when we find out that Alex is actually dead, I thought that was a really cool sort of addition to it. And then it kind of ends off with obviously Anna back in the hospital, like I said. And I mean, I don't know if she like turned evil or like or whatever. You know, I wish there was more sort of like connection with the mum, who obviously died. I wish the mum like really like haunted this family, or maybe even like possessed Anna, or did something more. Like I said, I wanted the horror aspects to be pumped up, but then again, it is my fault for not reading too much into it, because if you go on IMDb, this is like a thriller, a horror, a mystery, a fantasy. Like there's so many categories this film falls under. So there's obviously aspects of each one for sure. I just didn't realize it wasn't going to be full on scary movie. But that's still okay. Like I said, I think it was an interesting film. I do wonder, like, if we made this kind of film nowadays, I think they could make it like even more gripping. I just kind of love watching films like this, like thriller films around the early 2000s that were made, because it's like it gives you that nostalgic feeling, and everything's just a bit more simple and not over the top, and like just, you know, just an easy story to kind of connect with and follow. But yeah, and also, can I just say, I think Elizabeth Banks played a pretty good villain. Well, villain, we obviously think that she's the one that's killed the mother and she's killed loads of other people. Obviously it wasn't her, it's the girl that Anna lived with in the mental hospital, which I thought was a really good twist, because they do a really good job of playing Elizabeth off as like the evil bitch, like we hate you, and like trying to like just get with her father, their father, for the money and the house and etc. I like the kind of setup of her character as well. I thought that was really fun. So yeah, like I think this was a pretty easy watch. It was a fun watch. I would definitely go back to it. It definitely gave me like summer vibes. Like, so I think for the summer I would come back to this and watch it, just to like get me in the mood for summer, and you know, because they live by the beach and stuff. But something I had to point out though is I was like, this house highly reminds me of Amityville, especially the one that I reviewed on my channel, because they have like the big house, and then they go down, and then they've got like a little boathouse, and then they've got like the water and stuff, and they can go swimming and whatever. I think it was funny to see that, because I mean, I don't know if there was some kind of connection there, but I immediately noticed that and was like, that's got to be some kind of connection, which I thought was quite fun. So yeah, I think if I was to rate this, I'd give this like a 5 out of 10. It's like your average thriller film, I think. I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't in love with it, but it was, like I said, quite a nostalgic sort of fun film to watch and go back to. And it had some great actors in as well. So let me know if you guys have seen this or not. And, you know, we're going to keep sifting through these horror films. I know this is technically a thriller, but it's still a subgenre of horror in my opinion, so it has a connection. So I still count this as something that, you know, is part of horror. I'm hoping to watch some more scary films soon, and I also will be reviewing The Menu, which comes out at the end of this week. I'm hoping to give that a watch next week. I'm intrigued. I know that's more of a psychological horror, and at the moment psychological horror, I have to admit, has been doing well. So I'm intrigued to see what this is about. I've seen the trailer. I'm just confused about what the hell is happening, but it's got a great cast, and it seems like a bit of a unique out of the box idea, and I thought, okay, cool, we'll see what happens here. So yeah, that's the video. Nice chill video of The Uninvited. Let me know what you guys think. Have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you feel that like nostalgic feeling when you watch like a film from, you know, maybe your childhood or something, or that was made during your childhood? Because this just gave me that feeling so much, and it's kind of like a feel-good film, even though in the film it's not necessarily feel good. But yeah, like I said, that's my review. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.